Hey everyone, hope you're having a good evening. Yep, we doing this again. Today is day 5 of the 15-day challenge that I am doing. Sorry for the shaking of the... Just trying to get on to my other platforms, of course. While you guys are coming on in, I'm saying hello, good evening. I hope you had a blessed day. Today we are talking about a book that inspired me. I am ready. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope you had an amazing day. This is Jamie Newton-Knight, your blended black family strategist. I just wanted to say hello, and I wanted you to know that today we're going to talk about a book that inspired me. So today I want to tell you about a book that inspired me. Now, I've had several books, of course, that I've read over the years that left an impact on my life. Some were leisure, I've read for leisure. Some were biographies I read for informational purposes. Some were spiritual that I read to feed my soul. And I always tell people that the book that I have read and I read over and over again is The Purpose Driven Life. So that is one of the books that inspired me, but that is not the book that I'm going to talk about tonight. So I always talk about that book, so I figured tonight I'll try something else. So again, The Purpose Driven Life, check into it if you've never read it. It's a great read, especially if you are seeking some spiritual guidance. So the book that I want to talk about tonight, let's see something. The book that I want to talk about tonight is called Keep It Classy. Keep It Classy by Miss Monyetta Shaw, who is the ex of Neo. They have 2 children, a daughter and a son. You can see them on the back. Maddie and Mason. I'm saying the names, but I just want to make sure. So yeah, this is her book. And as you can see, I have little like bookmarks, which is actually like post-it inside, because I had like a million notes from this book. So what do I want to talk about this book? I love the book because I like the title, Keep It Classy. And the reason I like the title is because in blended situations, it's often very hard, especially depending on the situation and how your situation came to be, right? So if you were in a relationship with someone and you guys just amicably agreed to part ways, and you seeing other people, then it may not be so difficult to keep it classy. But when the breakup that you were subjected to, in her instance, was a public breakup, and things were being said on the back end of it, and they're in the limelight. So of course, social media and TV played a role into things as well. So for them, I'm sure it was much more difficult. For myself, I struggled with keeping it classy because I was engaged to be married. Finding out that the person I was with cheated, and now this person that I have to deal with as a kind of like a co-parent, it was his girlfriend at the time, I had to deal with her, and shortly after us breaking up. from cheating on me with her. So keeping it classy was not really at the top of my list at all. At all. So who this book is for? I think this book is for women who are a lot like me, who's like, listen, no, it didn't end well. But I'm not going to let you or this situation take me out of character. Right, to take me out of character and show me to be a completely different individual that I don't want to be. Because we can all step into that other side. Everybody has that other side. But you don't want to visit that other side. You don't want to visit that other person because we know our other side. So we try to keep it classy, right? And so just knowing that that's how we want to be, and this is for a person like that. That's like, I'm not with the drama. I don't want to live like that. I kind of want to figure it out. This is a book that would definitely help you. For me, the three things that I'll tell you the three things I took away from this book. But what I loved about the book the most is that, for one, she started with a lot of information about herself. So she talked about herself personally at the beginning. She talked about her relationship in there as well. And then she talked about the steps that she took in order to move forward and begin to keep it classy and co-parent in a positive way. What I love about this book is that it doesn't just give you detailed description of like, this was my life, these are the things I endured, these are the steps that you take, and that's it. It was kind of like, she gave a lot of resources. She put information about from Psychology Today, which, if you're into psychology, if you are a counselor or anything like that, then you know about this magazine, because it's filled with lots of great information for people who want to help people, especially therapists or social workers. So the do's and don'ts of compassionate parenting. So in there, she talks about, she uses as a resource the Psychology Today book. And so I like that it's filled with personal information, but it's filled with facts. So she backs up what she's saying with statistics and facts from reputable places. So in this case, like I said, Psychology Today. The three things that I took away from this particular book. Wow. For me, I feel like there was a lot of things that I took away from this book. Yeah, I really enjoyed reading this book. Let's see. I feel like you are not a superwoman. I think that's in here. You're not Superwoman. And it talks about the importance of, yes, I'm a mom, and yes, I have all these things going on, and I'm doing these things, but don't kill yourself. Self-care is extremely important. So it talks about that in there. It talks about the art of compromise. Let me tell you something. That is an extremely, extremely great tip, because when you are co-parenting with someone, you can't just have it strictly your way, because that's not real life. Real life is not your way all the time. And so you need to learn the art of compromise. And so that being in this book, The Art of Compromise, I think that was a great takeaway. So if you are looking for pieces to take away from this book, definitely The Art of Compromise is one of those pieces. If you are a person who constantly tries to be all and do it all by yourself, you are not Superwoman. Knowing that, understanding that, and learning to take some self-care is also great. I have so many. I want to say it takes a village, but I'm also thinking that therapy can help co-parenting. Therapy can help co-parenting tremendously. Therapy for self, because it helps you to it helps you to figure out the thing that's blocking you from moving forward, blocking you from being able to co-parent, but it also helps you to be able to co-parent with your co-parent. It helps you learn to do that, because you learn the things that are in the way of you guys co-parenting properly. Now, I'm also not opposed to therapy as a family. So you and your ex and the children, because the children get to see that you guys are trying to work it out just for the sake of them, but also it helps the two of you gain a different type of relationship and respect for one another, one another's space, one another's boundaries, and all of those things. So again, the 3 takeaways that I would take from this book is, number 1, you are not Superwoman. Self-care is important. Number 2, the art of compromise. Compromise is extremely, extremely important. And yeah, like I said, I have it's twofold for me. It definitely takes a village, but therapy can help co-parenting. I'm going to say therapy can help co-parenting as my 3rd tip, or as my 3rd takeaway. But you know what? I'm going to throw a bonus takeaway in there and say it takes a village. So the reality and understanding that it takes a village to raise a child is simply this. You as an individual trying to be all, do all, and it's exhausting sometimes. If you are or were ever a single parent, then you know that those things are tasking and exhausting. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work, especially when you're trying to do it all by yourself. And if you have more than one child, who your daughter plays an instrument and is in the band, and they have this thing going on at 5 o'clock over here, and then your son plays a sport, and that's on the other side. Trying to pull yourself in multiple directions is a lot. And so having a village to help you with that child is extremely important. And I always say that for myself, I have a village in terms of I have my mom, who she doesn't live here in the state with me anymore. But when she did, she was definitely the ringleader of the village, okay? She was extremely helpful in helping me with my children, especially throughout the difficult time of the split between our relationship. You have family members that might help you, utilize them for what you can. Some people don't watch kids. I know family members that's like, I don't watch children, but I'll give you some money. I can help you out financially, whatever it is that helps them, help you take care of that village. I mean, taking the village to help you with the child is super important. For me, what this book inspired in me is that keeping it classy is something that takes work. And because it's very easily to get sucked into someone else's negativity and drama, and then keeping it classy goes out the window, because you already know that your personality and everything's going to change after that. So keeping it classy takes work. So what it inspired in me was that this thing is not a quick fix. Sometimes people call, or they'll speak to me and they'll ask me a question about co-parenting and or working with me, and they think that they can call me and say, oh, I have this situation and I need some help with it, and we work through it, and they feel like that's going to be the end of the problem. But co-parenting in a blended family is constant work. There are times when it could be going perfectly fine. Everything's going great. You guys are all getting along. Everything's going well. And then there's times when somebody's going to irk your nerve. They're going to forget that you guys set boundaries. Someone's going to overstep a boundary. And so, understanding and knowing that everything takes work and everything is a process, and that you are not to rush the process and just go along with it as, with the flow of however your life is going. Once you understand that, things will work out much better. Speaking to a blended family coach once is not going to fix all of your blended family problems, because being in a blended family is an ongoing thing. Just like you wouldn't go to a therapist because you and your husband had an argument, and you feel like sitting in the session with the counselor is gonna fix whatever was wrong and how that argument started and whatever. It's not a quick fix. This thing is not a quick fix. It takes work. There is no little, oh, here you go, magically, boom, everything is all perfect in your world. That's not how it works. Just like counseling for couples take time, it takes time to work on it, because the problem wasn't that you had an argument. The problem is that you guys don't know how to communicate properly. So what you're going in there for the one time, which is, oh, we had an argument, it blew up into this big deal, and you think you're going to walk out of there with so many gems that you'll never have to go back to a counselor again. No, that's not reality. It takes maintenance. You're going to have to keep going back and keep going back. And so until you learn to properly communicate, so that you don't, not to say that you don't encounter an argument again, because you will likely argue again, but the next time you do, you know how to go about it. You know how to solve it faster. You know the strategies, to tackle it better. And that's exactly what happens with a blended family, especially with a blended family coach. You don't come and say, oh, well, and expect that this one thing is going to fix everything for you, because that's not reality. It's not going to fix everything for you. It takes maintenance. It takes work. It takes you wanting to put in that time, right? So keeping it classy takes work. It takes work, because, like I said, you're dealing with other people and other personalities, and so it takes work. All right, so I'm going to talk about how I found this book. Was that at the time I was seeking information about blended families and like how other people made it work. And it just so happened that at the time, Monietta Shaw came out with her book, Keep It Classy. She also has another book, but she came out with this book. And it was just so interesting, because she came out with this book, and Mashonda, who is Swiss Beats X, came out with the Blend book. So it kind of like both of them were out at the same time. Both of them came out at the same time. So I was seeking something to see, what is everybody else struggling with? Because in the blended family, a lot of people struggle with some of the same things, but then there are some people that struggle with different things. So I wanted to see the stories behind what other people were struggling with. And so I stumbled upon it, because I was searching for information, and I found it because I was looking for it. So I recommend this book, again, for any woman who is in a blended family, in a blended situation, who it may be struggling to keep it classy, or maybe struggling to figure out how to even get to this level of wanting to keep it classy. This literally will tell you where she was, the level, and mentally where she was, and then how she got to the next level. I really feel like this is a good read. I love the fact that Neo wrote the foreword of the book. I feel like that piece, putting it together, just shows that the art of compromise, just like she said in the book, the art of compromise, coming together, because you know that this thing that you guys are talking about is something greater than just you and his situation. It's bigger than y'all. Just like being in a blended family for me and having this platform for the CoCo Blend and Blended Black Family is bigger than me. It's bigger than me. And I share my story on a regular basis because I want to help somebody else. I want people to not struggle as much as I struggled. I don't want everybody to have to go through some of the things I had to go through or endure some of the things I had to endure. If I can tell you a quick way to go around, it's like knowing how to get to, up the block. But instead of telling you that there's a quick and easy way, I'm going to let you go the long way. Just for selfish or spiteful purposes. I wouldn't do that. I'm that type of person that's like, listen, girl, listen. If you take that left right there and you go straight up the block, you're going to get there so much faster. And that's what I want for my community. That's why I feel like I was put in this place to be able to do. Again, this book came out at a time when the Blend book came out as well. So if I were to recommend any books about co-parenting, and someone else's story about co-parenting and how they were able to get past, because sometimes it's an ego thing, right? Sometimes it's an ego thing and it's like, nah, I'm not with that. I'm not moving forward. Sometimes it's you getting in your own way. If you can read somebody else's story and how they felt like literally the same way. So the reality of the fact that there are other people who feel like you, it makes you feel a little bit better. You're like, oh my gosh, she went through that too. Especially, people that you've heard of, that you've seen on TV. You're like, oh wow, they endured the same struggles. So if I had to recommend another book other than Keep It Classy, I would recommend the Blend book. They were both really, really, really great reads, really great books, great tips in the book. And like I said, for me, I'm the type of person who loves resources and facts. So the fact that she had facts in this book, like she wasn't just talking about her own personal opinion, she backed it up with some facts. That's what I liked about this book. And it's a pretty short read for those of you who are on the go all the time. It's a quick read. So yeah, that's the book that I wanted to tell you about today that inspired me. I want to know, do you have an amazing book recommendation that could help families in blended situations or dealing with co-parenting? If you do, you can drop it below. Hey lady, hey smile. Thank you for tuning in. And yes, it is inspiring to hear about others overcoming, because sometimes we feel like, especially if you're in the thick of it, when it's not going so well, you feel like, dang, there's no way out of this. Like, does it get better? Or am I at the bottom yet? Because if I'm at the bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. So to hear that somebody else overcame it, I think it is inspiring as well. So again, if you guys have any books that you would recommend that could help families deal with co-parenting, drop those names of those books below. If you feel like I've felt, right, and you didn't want to do what other people expected of you, so I can speak for myself, right? I'll say what people expected of me was I was in a situation, I'm engaged to be married. The engagement proposal flops because he's cheating. Now I'm dealing with this young lady who is the person he was dealing with. The person that he cheated with. And now we have to all cooperatively co-parent, right? So it was very hard for me to try to keep it classy. But I didn't want to do what other people expected me to do. Other people were expecting me to fight. Pretty much that's what people were like, what? Do you need us to come over? Because we'll all go get her. I was like, yeah, it's not just her, it's like him. But no, I don't want y'all to fight because that's typical. That's what people expect. That's what people want to see. They want to see the dramatic side. They want to see the foolishness. They don't want to see the family excel and win. They want to see, yep, let's do the rah-rah thing. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do what other people expect me to do. I don't want to react how other people expect me to react. I want to strive to keep it classy. And so I had to push myself into a place where I learned to do that, right? And then, what else? What else did I want to say? Yeah. So yeah. Again, drop those books. Don't forget to drop those books below. But yeah, if you feel like that, if you've ever felt like that and you felt like I'm not trying to live my life like that. I'm not trying to live how people want me to live, be how people want me to be. Um yeah, just don't do the typical, don't do the normal, not the normal, but what's expected. So if you feel like that and you're like, nah, I'm ready to keep it classy, then you can contact me right here on social media, on Instagram. There's a link in my bio. You can schedule a free blended brainstorming session. We can get some clarity on helping you find ways to move forward. If you feel like I don't need a session, I already really know that I need more than that, then there is the CoCo Blend Bootcamp that will be, I'm actually going to do the intensive class on February 8th. So if you know that you know that you know that you want to be a part of the boot camp, it's scheduled for February 8th. It's virtual, so it's not like you have to leave the comfort of your home. You can just meet me right here online and we can connect that way. You can sign up for my updates, my email updates. What are you looking for? Yes. Sorry, guys. This?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, child.
Sorry.
That is my beautiful blended, how I'm blended, my son, my oldest son. But yeah, so you can connect with me by signing up for updates for my email. You can schedule a free blended brainstorming session, or you can just sign up for the CoCo Blend Bootcamp, which will take place on February 8th. Again, right here virtually. It is not free. So that's why you have to sign up for it. And it's intensive because I'm going to try to get you into shape. That's why it's called a boot camp. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to do some work. And I'll give you some tough love, but still, we got to get this thing going. We got to get these families on track. We have to get you guys co-parenting in a positive way. So, again, I hope that those of you who tuned in today, that you share this live broadcast. I would really appreciate it. I thank you again for tuning in. I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Stay tuned tomorrow, because you know this is a 15-day thing. So tomorrow will be day 6 of the 15 days. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. You just got to meet me right here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. Keep it classy. Tag Monietta Shaw so that she knows we were talking about her today. And again, thank you for tuning in, and have a great evening.